We treat growing older like a curse. We fight it. We cover it up, as if hiding from the years will stop them from finding us. But the truth is this: the only people who never grow old are already in the ground. So you want to hate your wrinkles? Fine. But those lines on your face are proof you lived. Every scar, every crease, every ache in your bones is a receipt for survival. Growing older is not your enemy. Your vanity island, your fear island, your obsession with staying young is what makes you miserable. Because the gift of growing older is not beauty that fades. It is strength that doesn't. It is clarity bought with pain. It is knowing what matters, because life has already taken so much of what doesn't. So stop cursing the years. They are the reason you're still here. Insight 1: letting go of what doesn't matter. When you're young, you waste your life performing. You chase approval. You cling to shallow people. You drown in noise. Every room feels like a stage. Every opinion feels like a verdict. Clapping for rooms that never even learned your name. But the older you get, the less tolerance you have for nonsense. You don't have the time, the energy, or the patience to entertain it. And that's the gift. Age rips the mask off. The friend who only called when you had something to give? Exposed. The people who cheered for your light until it shone brighter than theirs? Revealed. You stop pretending. You stop carrying dead weight disguised as love or loyalty. There was a man who lived for approval, said yes to every request, stayed late at every job, lent money he didn't have, just to be seen as loyal. But when he finally collapsed, exhausted, burned out, not one of those people came to check on him. And that was the day he learned most of what he had sacrificed himself for didn't matter. That's the clarity age brings. You see how much of your energy was wasted on people who gave nothing back. You see how much of your suffering came from trying to be everything, for everyone. Growing older teaches you this. Most of what you thought mattered doesn't. The opinions don't matter. The crowds don't matter. The noise doesn't matter. What matters is peace. What matters is truth. What matters is choosing yourself, even if it disappoints everyone else. Insight 2: seeing life more clearly. Youth is blind. It thinks every heartbreak is the end of the world. Every failure is final. Every rejection is proof you're not enough. But with age, the fog begins to lift. Rejection wasn't punishment. It was protection. You start to see patterns. You start to understand why certain doors slammed shut, why certain people walked away. Time is brutal, but it is also honest. It doesn't lie to you. It strips away illusions you once swore were truths. That job you thought would define you? Forgotten. That heartbreak you thought would destroy you? Survived. That humiliation you thought you'd never outlive? Nobody even remembers. There was a woman who wept for months after being rejected by a man she thought was her future. She begged, bargained, broke herself in half trying to win him back. 10 years later, she laughed at her old self. Not because the pain wasn't real, but because she could finally see what she once thought was love was dependency. What she thought she lost was the very thing holding her back. That is the gift of growing older. You stop believing every no is the end. You stop mistaking chaos for passion. You stop confusing being chosen with being valued. Age teaches you this. Clarity comes late, but when it does, it cuts like a blade. And you finally see how much of your life was wasted chasing things that were never meant for you. Insight 3: fewer people, deeper bonds, refined. When you're young, you mistake numbers for love. You want crowds, parties, a phone that never stops buzzing. You think being surrounded means being valued, but age teaches you the cruel truth. Most of those people were never really with you. They were with the version of you that gave them something: attention, time, money, entertainment. And the moment you stop giving, they vanish. That's not tragedy. That's clarity. Because the older you get, the smaller your circle becomes, and you begin to see the test. Who shows up when there's nothing left to take? I've seen it in a hospital waiting room. The hundreds of friends don't come. The social crowd doesn't appear, but one person sits there, hour after hour, holding a hand in silence. And in that moment, you understand. One presence like that is worth more than 100 names in your contacts list. That's the gift of growing older. You learn loyalty is rare. You learn that one honest bond can outlast years of shallow noise. And you finally stop chasing numbers, because you know numbers don't equal love. Growing older strips away the excess. It leaves behind only the real. And the real is always enough. Insight 4. Making peace with yourself. Most people never make peace with themselves. They spend decades at war with the mirror, hating their reflection, cursing their body, dragging their past behind them like a corpse they refuse to bury, and then they wonder why they are tired. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. You cannot spend a lifetime fighting yourself and expect to feel whole. The gift of growing older is that you finally run out of energy for that war. At some point, you stop trying to be flawless. You stop apologizing for existing. You stop negotiating your worth with people who couldn't see it if it were carved into stone. That isn't weakness. That is freedom. Peace doesn't mean you suddenly love every scar, every mistake, every regret. It means you stop letting them own you. It means you stop treating yourself like a problem to be solved and start treating yourself like a life to be lived. I saw it in a woman who carried years of regret, failed marriages, missed chances, words she wished she could take back. But one morning, she woke up and simply decided, I'm done punishing myself. No ceremony, no applause, just a decision. And everything changed. Her past didn't vanish. Her scars didn't fade. But the war inside her ended, and that peace gave her a strength she never had in her youth. That's the brutal wisdom of age. You realize the world may never give you peace. So you either make it with yourself, or you die without ever knowing it. Closing. The gift of growing older. Refined. Growing older is not a curse. It's a privilege. A privilege denied to the ones already in the ground. So you want to complain about the years. Fine. But every wrinkle you hate is proof you made it through storms that would have drowned weaker souls. Every scar is evidence that life hit you hard. And you got back up anyway. The young chase perfection. But perfection is brittle. It shatters the first time life hits. Age is different. Age makes you unbreakable. Because the gift of growing older is this. You finally see what matters. You finally stop wasting your life on what doesn't. You finally become who you were always meant to be. So wear the years like armor. The scars are proof you survived. The years are proof you endured. That is the gift. That is the power. That is the honor of growing older.